Ancestral God? Luo Feng looked to where the voice came from. A being flew up from an ordinary palace close to his palace. It was a great being of another race that was dozens of feet tall and had 6 arms. He was in human form with thick legs, but he had a face on each side of his head. The face at the front looked amiable with a smile, yet the one at the back was dark and fierce. Each of his 6 arms was grasping a short stick, and there were 4 sections on each stick, making them look like parrying daggers from earth. 3 of the parrying daggers were black while the other 3 were white, and power flowed around each parrying dagger. Ancestral God is living beside me? Luo Feng was startled. He had been practicing on Redbud Island for 62 years and hadn't known that the Ancestral God was living beside him until now. The amiable face of Ancestral God looked at the sky, and his voice was transmitted from the space and time under his control to the space and time under Virtual Real Devil Master's control. Virtual Real Devil Master, get out, he said. I'll pretend that you were never here. Ha! It's double-faced Ancestral God, said Virtual Real Devil Master. You dare to be so arrogant in front of me. Humph! I've never given a damn about your so-called Ancestral God school, and I always go wherever I want. Who can stop me? I'll kill that human Luo Feng today, and you won't be able to stop me. The space and time controlled by the being in the black mist were pushed down after his gloating. Hong! Long! The power from the space and time controlled by Devil Master was stronger. Pun! Double-faced Ancestral God looked up, and the space under his control also surged. Hong! 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 When the 2 universe spaces clashed against each other, the 5-color Aurora Lake started to launch attacks. All the auroras shrank and merged together, forming a golden pillar. The universe space controlled by Virtual Real Devil Master was slashed as if there were a gully. No wonder it's a supreme true treasure. Luo Feng looked up and was awed. That universe space is completely under the control of Virtual Real Devil Master, and even universe operation law has backed off. It's more incredible than the control on time and space by universe masters, and it's still powerless under a supreme true treasure. The golden pillar dashed down, and a dark space gully extended toward Virtual Real Devil Master. Ha! Virtual Real Devil Master suddenly looked up, and black mist permeated. 5-color Aurora Lake? Scram! Virtual Real Devil Master roared, and armor appeared that trembled the surrounding space. It was a mysterious suit of armor with blood stains on it. The armor integrated with each inch of the sky of Virtual Real Devil Master. A dark hollow that was more than 30 square feet appeared. The golden pillar kept bombarding Virtual Real Devil Master, but the armor withstood it. Pun! 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 Each inch of the space sparked like fireworks. The universe space controlled by Virtual Real Devil Master crumbled into particles, yet the space controlled by the Ancestral God was stable. Luo Feng saw Virtual Real Devil Master clearly. Virtual Real Devil Master fell a little bit, and the golden pillar was dissipated. Ha! I have a supreme true treasure to protect me, Virtual Real Devil Master said. Nobody in the universe oceans can kill me, let alone you, double-faced Ancestral God. He followed this sentiment by recklessly roaring. Universe space, break! Hong! The being in black mist of, and his right foot stamped and ground. His right foot wore an ancient boot, which obviously was a component of a supreme true treasure. The ancient boot twisted the time and space under its impact. The flow of time was in disorder, and space was cracked. Pun! 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 The space controlled by Ancestral God was also cracked, as he wasn't able to resist that attack. Virtual Real Devil Master, you're being outrageous! Double-faced Ancestral God switched faces. The dark black face moved to the forefront and glared at Virtual Real Devil Master. He roared in anger and flew up. Each of his arms was carrying a parrying dagger. With the daggers being waved, 3 black airflows and 3 white airflows were formed. They were combined and formed a complex black and white airflow picture. The picture gushed, and the right foot stamped down. Hong! The moment they touched, the power of the supreme true treasure Virtual Real Devil Master was carrying and the power all the 6 pinnacle true treasures carried by Ancestral God was merged. The attacking ability of the protection true treasure Virtual Real Devil Master had was only an accessory, and the attacking power of it was not much different from the true treasures Ancestral God had. Virtual Real, get the hell out! All 6 arms of double-faced Ancestral God waved, and the attacks from each parrying dagger overlaid with each other, making them more powerful. The universe spaces controlled by them were trembling. Luo Feng could feel the space around him trembling. He wanted secretly to run away. However, it was safest for him to stay in the time and space controlled by Ancestral God. Besides, two Universe Supreme Masters were fighting, and the space and time controlled by them were unstable. He wasn't able to leave using God Country transportation. I can't even run away, he thought. There's a Universe Supreme Master trying to kill me. Luo Feng gazed at the fight between the two Universe Supreme Masters in the sky. Although the fight only affected the spaces controlled by them, the spaces were sometimes dismantled and became particles. And sometimes, the particles gathered again. He could feel how terrific it was. Virtual Real Devil Master was using a supreme true treasure. Ancestral God was using 6 black and white parrying daggers. Perhaps Universe Masters could be killed. Virtual Real Devil Master, don't blame me! 5-color Aurora Lake! Ancestral God roared. 5-color Aurora Lake, which had been only partly utilized, immediately shrank. It was the guarding true treasure of the Ancestral God School that covered several square light years. But now, it was shrinking. All the auroras shrank to the size of rice grains, then formed a giant, 5-colored blade. Cut! The 5-color giant blade slashed down. The 6 parrying blades slashed at Virtual Real Devil Master again. Damn Ancestral God! Damn you! Virtual Real Devil Master bellowed. He needed to defend himself from attacks from the 5-color giant blade and the 6 parrying daggers from Ancestral God at once. He wasn't able to handle them at the same time and got hit several times, which consumed his godly body. You're pushing me! Virtual Real Devil Master raised his head and roared. Ah! The space around him cracked. Ancestral God bounced away. The giant blade couldn't get close. Neither Ancestral God nor the 5-color giant blade could get close, and the force from Virtual Real Devil Master was inconceivably strong, which stunned Luo Feng, who was watching down there. Rumor had it that Universe Supreme Masters were restricted by the Universe Operation, and thus, they could only show power that was slightly stronger than Universe Masters. How could they be that strong? Neither Ancestral God nor the Supreme True Treasure could get close. Virtual Real Devil Master, this is the original universe! Ancestral God shouted. Yeah? Virtual Real Devil Master looked omnipotent. He disregarded the 5-color giant blade and dove down. At the same time, a golden chain showed up in the space, and it bound the arm of Virtual Real Devil Master, making it difficult for him to hit down. No! Virtual Real Devil Master was terrified. Another green chain extended from space and entangled the other arm of Virtual Real Devil Master. A navy blue chain extended from space. Chains continued to come out of space, bearing down Virtual Real Devil Master. Damn it! Virtual Real Devil Master roared, exasperated. However, his force got weaker and weaker, and the chain stopped giving out power as he grew weaker. Virtual Real Devil Master looked down. Double Face Ancestral God, this is the original universe. You're not my match in Universe Ocean. Double Face Ancestral God looked up. Unfortunately for you, you're in the original universe now. Each of us 3 Ancestral Gods can outpower you. In the original universe, nobody can challenge us. We're the guardians of Universe Operation Law, and we're given grace by the Universe Origin. Give up! Do you want to challenge the Universe Origin? Virtual Real Devil Master glared down. Double Face Ancestral God glared up. Good, Virtual Real Devil Master snorted. You'll learn the consequences in Universe Ocean. We never go to Universe Ocean, said Double Face Ancestral God. Virtual Real Devil Master clenched his teeth. The Ancestral God School couldn't roam the Universe Ocean, but it was sitting in the crown in the original universe. Little one, said Virtual Real Devil Master. He glanced at Luo Feng, who was in shock. You got lucky today! Hong! Virtual Real Devil Master surged much faster than light. He broke out of the 5-color Aurora Lake and disappeared. The shattered universe space went back to being peaceful, and nothing on Redbud Island was damaged. Other candidates only felt the space trembling. They had no idea what had just happened. Luo Feng stared at the sky. Both Ancestral God and Virtual Real Devil Master had disappeared. Then Luo Feng heard the voice of Ancestral God. Come here, Luo Feng. By the side of the railings of the pagoda, Luo Feng turned to look down. There he saw, right in the middle of his courtyard, Double-Faced Ancestor God. Ancestor God. With a flash, Luo Feng reached the side of the other party. Double-Faced Ancestor God was fair-skinned and benevolent-looking. As he looked at Luo Feng felt as though he were basking in a spring breeze, and he started to thank Ancestor God repeatedly. "Thank you for coming to my rescue, Ancestor God." 5-color Aurora Lake enveloped the core ground of the entire Ancestral God School. When it suddenly disappeared, many islands, 8 Beast God Palace, guarding Beast God Palace, 72 General Continent, and many others were quick to notice its absence. When a predominating treasure like 5-color Aurora Lake went missing, wouldn't he have considered that a major event? Even though everything returned back to normal very quickly, it still sparked an endless debate. The Ancestral God School had many peripheral members who normally lived on other islands. They were all discussing this proactively. At the same time, they were secretly sending news back to the powers behind them. 5-color Aurora Lake is a supreme true treasure. Barring a critical moment, it would be impossible to get it to unleash its full potential. Normally, just a little aurora is enough to annihilate enemies. For it to instantly disappear, 5-color Aurora Lake must be putting in its all and doing everything it can. Who could cause this? Who provoked 5-color Aurora Lake into retaliation at full might? Though they were peripheral members, the possibilities included Luo Feng Knight, who might be a candidate for the post of Heavenly General. But such individuals would definitely pledge their loyalty to their human race. Who would have provoked 5-color Aurora Lake? With Ancestral God School as the core grounds, the news was secretly and rapidly disseminated. The predominating treasure of Ancestral God School, 5-color Aurora Lake, was activated once, then it disappeared within an instant, but was recovered to original state within a fleeting moment. Something major must have happened. Pushed to such extremes, could it be a universe supreme being has barged its way into the core grounds of Ancestral God School? The other 8 of the top 9 powers of the universe were no fools. Each came to a conclusion quickly, especially the top 3 powers, the bug soldiers, the demons, and the automaton race, who were waiting quietly and expectantly. Upon enlisting the help of Virtual Real Devil Master, Father God of the automaton race had notified the demons and bug soldiers that he had invited a universe supreme being to take up the matter. It must be the killing of Luo Feng that incurred the wrath of the Ancestral God School. Haha! So long as Luo Feng is eliminated, with that hard stone-s ability, it would be able to take its leave easily. News spread to the outside world rapidly, but Luo Feng was oblivious. He did not have an inkling of what was going on because Redbud Island was within the universe that was under the control of Double-Faced Ancestor God, so the candidates on Redbud Island were unaware of the sudden, momentary disappearance and reappearance of the 5-color Aurora Lake. What? Luo Feng could not suppress his shout of surprise. Ancestor God, you have been protecting me? Ha ha ha, Double-Faced Ancestor God smiled and said, I was the undying demon staying next to you. I transformed into that appearance so no one on Redbud Island would discover my true identity. Images of an undying demon in the form of a 2-headed white wolf immediately sprang up in Luo Feng's mind. That was him? If I were not staying next to you and you were to meet with sudden danger, how would I be able to come to your rescue in time? I couldn't have done it from my Ancestor God Palace. Double-Faced Ancestor God smiled. Virtual Real Devil Master has extremely strong powers. He could appear on Redbud Island in an instant. If I had been at Ancestor God Palace, by the time I realized he was here, even if I did my best to rush here, I'm afraid I still would have been too late to save you from annihilation or to save you from being controlled by another soul. Being controlled by a soul? Luo Feng's brow twitched. Based on what he knew, a universe supreme being was merely one notch stronger than the strongest universe master. The difference was not all that far apart. Luo Feng's willpower and consciousness were at the universe master level. Furthermore, he had force armor to reduce attacks on his soul, and he had one of the components of his supreme true treasure Star Tower, Tower Pearl, to guard his soul. With those, he assumed he would not be that weak. Don't believe me? Double-Faced Ancestor God said. He looked at Luo Feng and shook his head laughingly. He is called Virtual Real Devil Master. The virtual real part of his name comes from the fact that he possesses the skill of creating illusions which are identical to reality. Illusions? Identical to reality? Luo Feng was secretly in shock. The moment you fall into an illusion he created, you will still feel the universe laws in motion, you can still cultivate, and in the process of cultivation, you can still master the skill of law comprehension. Everything is perfectly real. Double-Faced Ancestor God smiled at Luo Feng. Of course, once you are able to break free from the illusion, you will realize that you have not undergone any change, only your willpower and memory will have some changes. Of course, the laws that you have cultivated within the illusion must be one of those that he personally knew of. If he didn't know the laws, he wouldn't have enabled you to cultivate. Luo Feng was stunned. Cultivating laws within an illusion? This bore a resemblance to the virtual universe. Actually, the virtual universe allowed countless life forms to enter at any one point in time, and within the virtual universe, any kind of law could be cultivated. There was almost no difference from the real world. A true super great being could clearly differentiate the virtual world from the real world without confusion. Only the ordinary humans who were weaker, and who were immersed in virtual games on a long-term basis would confuse the real and virtual worlds as time passed. However, the moment one's willpower got stronger, the confusion would stop. There was a fundamental difference between the virtual universe and an illusion. The virtual universe was open and aboveboard, like another universe, the universe of consciousness. Once you fall into his illusion, you may feel as though a short instant in the actual, real world was equivalent to tens of thousands of years, or even more, in the illusionary world. Double-Face Ancestor God explained. Luo Feng was appalled and commented, "Could this time be used for cultivation? This would be a very smart way of saving time." "No." Double-Face Ancestor God walked along the stone pavement encircling the pond and said, "Sustaining an illusion consumes a large amount of godly power. Besides, he has to give his best. Getting an ordinary human to fall into an illusion and sustaining it for a long time is easy. But getting a universe master to fall into an illusion and make him feel as though 10,000 years have passed within the blink of an eye, the amount of godly power needed is truly unbelievable. How can it be used for cultivation? Moreover, the path of your choice may not be familiar to virtual real devil master. His strongest ability is illusion. I have lived by your side for 62 years. Having observed you for so long, I can also judge that your willpower and consciousness must have already reached the level of a universe master. Your godly body is probably comparable to the special life forms that were one of a kind." Luo Feng was in great shock. How frightening! He had not engaged in any battle and was only observing, completely in the dark. After a long period of watching Luo Feng, Double-Face Ancestor God had been able to make a judgment about his level of power. Even Primal Chaos City Leader Teacher could only make a judgment if Luo Feng was in the primal universe. "For a soul to kill you would be as difficult as trying to kill a universe master," said Double-Face Ancestor God. "But virtual real devil master can achieve that. His ability to create illusions is horrifying. Given the willpower and consciousness of a universe master, at the very least, he would have to possess a top-tier soul-type true treasure in order to not be fearful of virtual real devil master. This is the strength of his ability under a certain amount of restraint upon being suppressed by the universe origins. A top-tier soul-type true treasure?" Luo Feng held his breath. A top-tier soul-type true treasure was comparable to the value of a pinnacle true treasure. Among all the universe masters, a great majority did not own one. You have to know that among the universe supreme beings, he has the most frightening skills when it comes to illusions. Double-Face Ancestor God looked at Luo Feng. In the case of an ordinary soul-type true treasure, his blurry godly power can tear it apart any moment. As for a senior soul-type true treasure, they are also defenseless against him. These victorious moments are proved by his credentials. Luo Feng nodded and made sure he remembered all this information well. This information was considered confidential. For Double-Face Ancestor God to tell him all this was indeed an act of great kindness. Actually, for Double-Face Ancestor God to be willing to stay in solitude beside him for 62 years meant that, during the times when he gained fame leading to him being hunted down by bug soldiers, demons, and the automaton race, Double-Face Ancestor God had already been living a secluded life beside him. Force armor can only weaken the force by one level with Tower Pearl alone, is it not enough? Seems to me I must bring Star Tower with me at all times, Luo Feng told himself. The moment Tower Pearl returned to Star Tower, the latter would shrink and park itself within Luo Feng's godly body. Then, it would naturally be guarding his soul. Star Tower consisted of various functional components like attacking, soul type, flying palace type, sealing type, and many more. He might only have the soul type component, but with the entire Star Tower within his body, according to Luo Feng's assessment, it should be comparable to a pinnacle soul type true treasure. Or, at the very least, Luo Feng felt it would make a difference. Just as what Sitting Mountain Guest said, with Star Tower, he would fear no one. The best form of defense would be to hide within Star Tower. Regardless of material or soul attack, Star Tower would be able to ward off everything. If he hid within it, even a Universe Supreme Master would not be able to do anything to him. But of course, doing so would only reveal the fact that he owned Star Tower, which would arouse the greed of the group of Universe Pinnacle great beings. There was no way one could be on guard against theft day in and day out. Once a Universe Supreme Being started eyeing him, there was no way he could possibly remain within Star Tower all the time. Any moment of carelessness would spell danger. Next time around, I have to put Star Tower within my godly body, to guard and protect my soul. I have underestimated the Universe Supreme Beings. It was said that a Universe Supreme Being was only slightly stronger than the most powerful Universe Master, just a hit stronger. But I did not expect them to be so powerful. Seems like I have also underestimated the powers of Universe Masters. Luo Feng had always thought that after he became a Universe Knight, he would be able to compete head-to-head with a Universe Master. A sudden realization dawned on Luo Feng. Among Universe Masters, there were stronger ones and weaker ones, too. He could probably stand against the weaker ones. However, for the strong ones like Primal Chaos City Leader, who was only a small fraction less powerful than Virtual Real Devil Master, judging from Virtual Real Devil Master's showcase of skills, the strongest of all top-tier Universe Masters was certainly much stronger than he was. The Supreme True Treasure Star Tower guards the soul, thought Luo Feng. Force armor protects the body. With a godly body more than 55,000 miles tall, even a Universe Supreme Being should not be able to harm me. I have to hurriedly get Star Tower back. Luo Feng had gotten too complacent. The showcase of power by a Universe Supreme Being this time around had sobered him up. Double-Face Ancestor God turned to look at Luo Feng. Word of you killing Flourishing Light Horde Leader and Para Chopper Knight has spread, especially when you turned up at Redbud Island. I proceeded to discuss your situation with two other Ancestor Gods. The Bug Soldiers, the Automaton race, and the demons would stay away for the moment, but as time passed, we knew they would probably close in on you. Therefore, the second day after you arrived at Redbud Island, I started living in the palace next to your mansion. Thank you, Ancestor God. Luo Feng expressed his gratitude. This kind sentiment he had to put it to heart. Kindness begot kindness. It has been a long time since a promising being such as yourself has turned up at the Ancestral God School, said Double-Face Ancestor God. Your potential is much stronger than Purple Knight. He smiled at Luo Feng, then added, We at the Ancestral God School hope that you will grow and mature to a stage where you are comparable to your teacher, Primal Chaos City Leader. At that time, the Ancestral God School will bestow you with the title of Guarding Godly Master. Guarding Godly Master? Luo Feng was startled. 9 Remoteness Master was a Guarding Godly Master of Ancestral God School. Guarding Godly Masters were the top seniors among the sub-members of the Ancestral God School, and they were at the same level as Beast Gods. No wonder they've been helping me like that. It's because they want me to be a Guarding Godly Master, Luo Feng thought. I still need a Supreme True Treasure to protect me when I am dealing with Universe Supreme Masters. However, if I become a Universe Master, my godly power will surge again, and so will my willpower. After that, I won't need a soul-type true treasure to defend myself against an illusion by Virtual Real Devil Master. Luo Feng was indeed powerful, and he wanted to fight Universe Masters. However, he still needed Star Tower to protect his life when he came across Universe Supreme Masters. Sitting Mountain Guest was indeed accurate about him. He had said that Luo Feng could roam the universe as long as he had Star Tower, and a different translation of that was that Luo Feng did still have to fear some beings without it. Though Luo Feng understood that the Ancestral God School had protected him for their own benefit, he was still grateful. After all, they did this because they thought highly of Luo Feng. Besides, based on the information he collected, there were no confrontations between the Ancestral God School and the human race, and the Ancestral God School promised before that human sub-members wouldn't be required to fight the human race, and sub-members could refuse to accept a particular task. Virtual Real Devil Master came after you once, so you know how much the Bug Race, Automaton Race, and Demon Race want you dead. Double-Face Ancestral God gazed at Luo Feng. Think carefully about what you should do. I know. Luo Feng nodded. Of course, don't be worried either, said Double-Face Ancestral God. Virtual Real Devil Master is a Universe Supreme Master. Since he failed, at least we know he won't come here and try to kill you again. As for asking another Universe Supreme Master, that's not easy. The bug race, automaton race, and demon race might not be willing to. They failed the first time, and if they try it and fail again, it's like giving out true treasures for free. Double-faced ancestral god smiled. Think about what you should do. I'll go back to the ancestral god palace. Double-faced ancestral god turned around and walked away. After 3 steps, his shape was blurred. Back to ancestral god palace? Luo Feng nodded. Of course. He was an ancestral god, and he had been doing him a large favor by disguising himself beside him. He couldn't be his spy forever. I'll go back to my god country first. Luo Feng turned around and walked back to his palace. Then he left Redbud Island and went back to his god country. In his god country, the boundless remote ocean was sensing the universe origin and absorbing godly power. After all, only 1/8 of the ocean had finished being transformed when turning to a universe knight. Star Tower, said Luo Feng. He wore his silver armor and silver wings and was standing atop the ocean. Golden horned beast flew toward him. It became a golden horned beast 1,000,000 miles long with a huge star tower on its head. The golden horned beast had been studying the engravings on Star Tower for all these years. The engravings were extremely intricate, which baffled people. Luo Feng was only able to recognize 3 levels and fully comprehend the first level. Come! Luo Feng reached out his hands. Hua! Star Tower flew toward him, shrinking, and fell into his palm. Guard the soul! Star Tower went into Luo Feng's body and floated at the center of Luo Feng's chest. Tower Pearl flew back to Star Tower. The Tower Pearl itself was able to guard the soul. As for the complete Star Tower, it was much more efficient at guarding the soul. Hua! 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 Countless threads spread from Star Tower like a net coming from Star Tower. They covered Luo Feng, and each trace of godly power had its life imprint protected. Luo Feng was awed. Tower Pearl was like a giant boulder guarding the soul, yet Star Tower was more like a towering mountain. Even now, it felt much more stable. No wonder it's a supreme true treasure. Luo Feng was pleased. It was known that a supreme true treasure could be a guarding treasure, but even some universe supreme masters didn't have supreme true treasures. I still need to be careful even if the first universe supreme master failed. Luo Feng immediately connected to the virtual universe with his mind. I tried to search for the information about universe supreme masters before, but I couldn't. Now that I've been deemed a top-tier universe overlord, my access authority should be higher. Inside Luo Feng's habitation on Thunder Island, in a quiet palace, Luo Feng stared at the screen in front of his desk. My access authority is indeed high. Luo Feng smiled. Last time, he had the access authority of a secondary universe knight. This time, Luo Feng had the access authority of a 7-star universe overlord. Master, Babata replied. This was, of course, a subsidiary intelligent part of Babata, while the original body was training on the Earth. Babata had become undying with the resources provided by Luo Feng. However, undying fighters were too weak to meddle in the sort of the fights Luo Feng was dealing with. That was why he still stayed on the Earth. Babata did, however, provide a great deal of help for Luo Feng's family. Search for Universe Masters and Universe Supreme Masters, said Luo Feng. Yes. Hua! Information showed up on the screen. Luo Feng clicked on the first result, as it usually contained the most information. It's indeed different to have the access authority of a 7-star universe overlord. I can learn many top-tier secrets. Luo Feng smiled and kept reading. All the creatures in the universe were children of the universe, and the universe loved them. Special life forms had eternal lives when they were first born. Ordinary life forms, however, had to become undying before they had eternal lives. Otherwise, they would die. There was no need to elaborate on non-undying. Undying fighters were those who fully comprehended the easiest laws and gained eternal lives with the help of Law Ocean. Universe Knights were those who had fully comprehended space law or time law. They had stronger godly bodies and had high law comprehension. As for Universe Masters, they had fully comprehended one of the merge laws. Once becoming a Universe Master, they would be able to control space and time. These were all gifts from the universe. Undying fighters, Universe Knights, and Universe Masters, the universe origin was bestowing them with endless godly power, and perhaps inherited techniques, complete control over space and time, and the power to turn back time. The universe origin would still treat Universe Masters as their children and take care of them, and it wouldn't disturb their training. However, there was no clear way to become a Universe Supreme Master. all the methods they tried before would be rendered useless. Other great beings couldn't follow the same path to become Universe Supreme Masters. Besides, after all the efforts, wisdom, and luck, Universe Supreme Masters were able to control the law. They could even make their own laws. As such, they would be suppressed and constrained by the universe. The universe would take care of a being when it became a Universe Master from a weaker one. However, Universe Supreme Masters were constrained by the universe, so constrained that they could only wield power slightly stronger than the most powerful Universe Masters. Regardless, they were so powerful that it was easy for them to resurrect Universe Overlords. Besides, if a Universe Supreme Master killed a Universe Knight or a Universe Master, they would be punished because Universe Knights and Universe Masters were protected by the universe. And the more powerful the Knight or Master they killed, the more severe the punishment would be. The punishment of killing a Universe Overlord was nothing to a Universe Supreme Master. Killing a Universe Master would be costly. As for Universe Masters like Primal Chaos City Leader or Nine Remoteness Master, even Universe Supreme Masters could try to kill them without worrying about the punishment. They wouldn't be able to do so, as they could only wield limited power. Luo Feng was dazed. The universe favors and nourishes everything, he murmured. However, after becoming a Universe Supreme Master, one will be suppressed and constrained. And killing Universe Knights and Universe Masters is punishable, so bizarre. They're all lives born in the primal universe, and they're all nourished and cared for. However, once someone becomes a Universe Supreme Master, he will be suppressed. And each Universe Supreme Master needs to find his own way to make a breakthrough? Luo Feng realized that Universe Supreme Masters must have a bigger secret, a secret regarding why the original universe tried to suppress them. However, his access authority was not yet high enough for him to know about this secret.